Folks, what happens when the world's richest man starts tweeting about Bitcoin? Well, it happened last night. And you can see price skyrocketed about $5,500 off the lows of around $31,000 to as high as $37,000. And the futures markets are going wild. So you guys might have seen that Elon Musk, who is now the world's richest man, he put in his Twitter bio, his headline, as hashtag Bitcoin. He is all freaking excited about it. And it's really coming at a time when there's a lot of disruption in the traditional markets. So you guys might have heard about this crazy stuff going on with GameStop, how there was a big short squeeze. Basically, a couple hedge funds were extra short on some stocks that they found to be fundamentally weak. So they levered up and shorted the heck out of these I'm so used to saying these coins, but they were shorting stocks. Namely, one was GameStop, and it got a ton of people on social media really riled up, because what happened was some of these brokerage accounts were actually halting the trading of these assets because, at the end of the day, for instance, like Robinhood, is tied to via investment Citadel. And Citadel is tied to, via investment, one of these hedge funds that were blowing up. So you can kind of see the collusion going on. Is like, hey, if one of our hedge funds is going to blow up, and it's only due to one trade, why don't we, stop the trading of that asset, or stop the purchasing of it, which would squeeze the short. So anyhow, there's a bunch of funny business going on. Interactive Brokers, I think, did something similar. And so there's a lot of funny business going on, but guess what? Crypto is unstoppable, right? You can't just shut down the Bitcoin network. You can't shut down peer-to-peer trading on the Ethereum network through platforms like Uniswap or SushiSwap or Curve Finance or Compound or any of these things, right? These are what we call unstoppable protocols for the, transfer and the issuance as well of different assets. And so I'm really excited, obviously, about how price has been reacting in light of this very fundamental event. Like this event is fundamentally bearish on traditional, centralized structures like centralized clearinghouses and centralized brokerage services that could just, you guys can't trade this stock. Like, that is just so beyond me, and it's really unprecedented. And there's going to be a whole bunch of lawsuits, and there's going to be a whole bunch of craziness that goes on. And over here, Elon Musk is just like, hashtag Bitcoin. Like, this solves the whole problem. And in retrospect, his follow-up tweet to that was, he said that in retrospect, it was all, I forget exactly how it went. In retrospect, it all made perfect sense, or something like that. It was inevitable in retrospect. And so clearly you could see this whole entire trend of folks kind of moving from that traditional sense into this cryptocurrency world. And I think that trend is just starting. So that was one thing that happened. The last thing I'm going to talk about real quick is that actually January 29th, which is today, maybe that was, I'm getting low, I think it was today, it had the largest amount of open interest on the January 29th contract. Because, today's Friday, January 29th. So what that does, when there's all that sorts of, very, very, very large amounts of open interest, when that contract expires, there's a huge turnover of positions. So that's why we saw so much volatility as well today, is because some of these exchanges were processing, higher volumes than they've ever processed, because there were a lot of people that had open options positions that they needed to hedge, whether that's buying or selling spot to kind of, monkey around their risk profile and stuff like that. So that was another really significant event that happened today, was this unwinding of a massive amount of open interest on the expiration of these options contracts. So folks, lots of exciting things going on in the market. And if you're not subscribed yet, you guys are missing out. I don't know what else to tell you. There are a ton of really, really fundamentally strong, altcoins, cryptocurrencies that are not Bitcoin, that are in the market that we're actively trading, that we're actively posting analysis about in our private group. So if you guys would love to follow along with some of the trades we're making, see how we get in and out of these positions and how we think about the markets at different times. In fact, with the most recent newsletter I wrote, I entitled it Alt Season, because I believe we are in the midst of a season. It could be, as long as half a year, could be as short as just a few months. So time is of the essence. But we're a part of this season where altcoins, these smaller cryptocurrencies, are outperforming Bitcoin while Bitcoin continues to outperform the dollar. So we have altcoins outperforming the dollar and they're outperforming Bitcoin. So it's a very, very, very attractive environment right now to go long the market. And we're long as hell and we're excited. And we hope you guys are too. So that is my market update. What happens when the world's richest man starts tweeting about Bitcoin? And folks, I think we discovered the answer to that. So take care.